Welcome to the finale of Dracula X on the Super Nintendo. A very mediocre Castlevania game with a really good soundtrack. Hard to believe that this soundtrack is on the Super Nintendo, which technically it didn't start as that, but it's still pretty damn impressive. And then again, this did come out the same year as Chrono Trigger, Donkey Kong Country, and Earthbound, admittedly some of the best OSTs on the system. And that's an objective fact. So yeah, great soundtrack, A+, unlike the game itself. And honestly, I don't think there's a bad Castlevania soundtrack. Okay, actually no, I can think of one. Oh hell no. I can see why it's called Harmony of Dissonance. Anyway, the stage itself is pretty easy, but the boss is pretty challenging in its own right. We'll be seeing him in a minute. As for the stage itself, there's going to be a hard transition from this cave area into a hallway. More spear guards. You want to watch out for these guys above and below you, they'll still attempt to poke at Richter. And also make sure you are far enough away from those spears, they have a way larger hitbox than they let on. Trying to get these guys away from the staircase. You can get jumped pretty badly on staircases in this game, just like in other Castlevania games, but even worse here because of lack of invincibility frames, and also these lance guards are pricks. There's a new enemy type in this room, these swordsmen guys. They are extremely powerful. Powerful enough to knock you across the room, so be careful. You can actually do a speedrunning strategy with this guy. All you have to do is face right, time your jump to the exact moment that the guy is going to swing at you, and then you jump into the air, he'll hit you, and then you'll go flying to the second floor. Like so. You can use this game's less than stellar programming against itself too. And speaking of less than stellar programming, you can pick up wall meat, or candle meat in this case, walk upstairs, walk back downstairs, break the candle again, and the meat will respawn. It's like this game is simultaneously harder and easier than most of the other Castlevania games for completely stupid arbitrary reasons. Like the controls are a bit nerfed, but also the wall meat coming back, like, does it really come back? Well, the answer is yes, but why does it come back? I can tell the developers tried their best to get Rondo of Blood onto a cartridge from a CD, and it halfway worked, but not fully. It didn't work all the way. Like the cutscenes, there are no cutscenes in this game at all. And I'll be the first to tell you that I did not like Rondo of Blood's super shiny, super anime, clean look to it, but I still would have liked to see some of those cutscenes reenacted in Dracula X. Even if they went the Phantasy Star 4 route of just putting still images on a black screen, that still would have been better than no cutscenes, am I right? This knight must really hate cutscenes. This part is kinda tricky, and I'm trying to conserve my holy water ammo for the boss because he is a tough one. Holy water in this game is weird in that it takes 3 hearts to use instead of the standard 2. And you also gotta keep in mind that Richter in this game cannot grab those Roman numeral 2s or 3s like Simon or Trevor did. Richter does, however, have natural abilities with the sub-weapons though. The more hearts you can pick up, the more sub-weapons you'll be able to throw out in a row. Okay, that part is done and over with. I just need to get to the boss now, and not pick up a stopwatch. The stopwatch is okay in this game, it's not that great of a sub-weapon. I usually just stick with the holy water or the axe. Freaking crow. Away with thee! I think there was an axe in that candle. Yep, it was an axe. I don't really need it. Besides, the holy water is good for this boss right here, and that is the werewolf. Now, the werewolf in this game is strangely way harder than it was in Rondo of Blood. I think it's because it barely gets knocked back whenever I hit it. But whenever I get hit by the thing, I get thrown across the fucking planet. So what you want to do with this guy is keep your distance. He likes to jump on the ceilings and the walls, and anticipate where he's about to go next. Ah, I see. The reason why he doesn't get knocked back sometimes is because he's in the middle of an attack loop, which is almost all the freaking time here. Oh, Jesus. This is probably my least favorite boss fight in the entire game. Yes, even worse than Dracula. Because at least with Dracula, I have a strategy. This guy I just gotta get lucky on. Did that attack just not register? Because I clearly hit him and his health did not go down. Okay, my hits seem to be working now. Oh, Jesus Christ! Oh, God. This guy sucks. Let me see my ammo count at the moment, which is invisible. Oh, what do you know? Oh, there it is. It's at 30 right now. The thing about Dracula X's ammo count, or the heart count, the thing flashes at 60 frames per second. I don't have that technology just yet. That wasn't a thing in the early 1790s. Oh shit, I forgot about this move. The werewolf will pull an armored armadillo and just bounce across the screen at Mach speed. Sometimes he does it forever, other times he just does it for 2 seconds. It's really random. And this is bad news. I'm on 1 hit point left and so is he. Will I make it? I made it. I really hate those desperation attacks. Oh, get out my eyes. Good job censoring that, Nintendo. In a half-assed way. Yeah, I'm not even trying to pose for the camera anymore. You just can't do it! But enough about my qualms for this game. Let's listen to some good music. Funkavania, or Funkula X. I don't know what to call it, it's just funky soundtrack. I love it. I can't say that enough, I just love this soundtrack. This stage, on the other hand, I don't like it, but I also don't hate it. There are a lot of trouble spots, but it's not that bad. I do like the gears in the background though, it has that pre-rendered look. Looks like something out of the Toy Story games on Super Nintendo or Sega Genesis, except nowhere near as polished looking as those as in those games, but still good looking to warrant me commenting on it. Oh jeez, I almost died there. I got lucky. Yeah, that's real classy stage design right there, just have the ghost spawn while I was in midair. That's Ghost and Goblins levels of dickery right there. And the Medusas are back. My oh my, the Medusas are back, and they're terrible. It's only a couple more screens to the boss fight. I just need to keep my cross, which I'm not doing a good job of keeping. I just want the cross. No, cross. Don't touch the axe, please. I just realized that it's not actually a cross because all of the sides are equal. Wow, they censored that too? I knew it was like that in Castlevania 4, but I thought in the time of this game and that game they would have laxed up on the symbolism aspect. I guess I was wrong. I guess I should consider myself lucky that I grew up in the PlayStation 2 Xbox era where games were just not all that censored. Or at least not censored in the way of symbolism. Can you honestly imagine Final Fantasy VII or Metal Gear Solid, for example, being censored? Because if that happened, the world would have freaking ended. And no, not censor the nudity or the language, even though that could help sometimes or hurt it. But I'm talking about more subject matter, like both those games had dark storylines and deep philosophy, and cutting that part of it out would have definitely affected the overall plot of both those games. Anyway, what is this boss? It's not even death. I did not get death. Yeah, that's right. If you'd taken a different pathway, you would have fought death here on the Big Ben. But since I did not take that certain path, I'm here fighting who I can assume is Carmilla, but I'm not even sure if it's her. The Skull's attacks are basically ripped right out of Shaft's fight from Rondo of Blood. The eyes do a whole bunch of different things. They have a lightning strike attack, they do that swirly thing, basically what's happening on screen right now, and there was another attack that's eluding me at the moment. Here's the lightning strike attack. The lightning is bullshit, by the way. It's hard to avoid most of the time, and it takes forever for them to go off after they start. Watch out for this desperation attack right here. I think this is the only last move in the game that can kill you if you're at low enough health. And here's a minor nitpick on my part, the Roman numeral 4 in the clock. It's 4 eyes. It's not an IV like usual, I don't get why. That's the scholastic side of me rearing its ugly head. Anyway, time for the final stage. Now, stage 7 in and of itself is pretty easy, but you still have to contend with Dracula at the end, who could potentially give you nightmares, and make you question what a man is. But more on that later. This stage actually loops around if you take the wrong path, which I purposefully do just to get more hearts. And like I said before, the more hearts you have, the better your sub-weapons will be. Let me tell you about how to get the good ending in this game. It's insanely strict, and honestly, what the hell were they even thinking in designing this? First off, you have to get through stage 3 without falling into that pit. You know, the gigantic pit with all the Medusa heads and the skeletons just trying to throw you into the damn thing. When you make it past that pit, you'll be in stage 5. You'll need to find a key there, and whatever you do not die, because if you die with the key, you'll get relegated to the bad ending because you won't unlock the door to save Maria or Annette. Sounds simple, right? Well, it kind of is, but the problem is, Maria and Annette are in 2 different areas of the game, so you basically have to hold the key for 2 stages in a row. There's only 1 key drop in the entire game, which takes up an item slot so you can't use sub-weapons, and you have to save 2 characters across 2 different stages with that 1 key. So basically, you just need to use your whip efficiently, find the locked doors, and hope to God you don't get circle jerked by the many enemies that want your blood. The first captive you find is always Maria, and then after that is Annette. And yes, yeah, it's pretty rough. There is a way you can cheese it though. Remember when I said that the key takes up an item slot? Even though you can't use sub-weapons, you can use the key as a sub-weapon, and it's really bizarre. You just hold it out in front of you, and the enemies just explode anyway, as if you used a sub-weapon. It's even more crazy when you use the key in an item crash. Yeah, that's right, Richter will use the key in an item crash, only to come back down and have a question mark over his head. Well, what'd you expect, Richter? It's a freaking key. I've seen a couple of playthroughs where they do utilize the key item crash to their advantage because, believe it or not, it does actually hurt enemies if you just land Richter's sprite into theirs during that animation. There are just so many odd things about Dracula X. That's the best way I can describe this game, it's just super odd. This doesn't have the frustrating level design like Castlevania The Adventure, though it comes dangerously close sometimes, but it also doesn't have that smooth flow like Castlevania 4 or Bloodlines. Or even the original Rondo of Blood. It's like, this game is just middle of the road. Which you can argue is still fairly decent, you know, compared to most other games, but compared to a Castlevania game, especially 4, no, this is not good. This is not a good game. I still would play this over Haunted Castle or The Adventure any day though. This part is absolutely brilliant. Medusa heads, axe armors, and platforms that make the process even more tedious. Okay, enough bitching. Oh wait, there's the Dracula fight. Fuck! Well, honestly, with the Dracula fight, it's not that bad if you know what you're doing. It's more or less monotonous, especially if Dracula likes to spend the fight teleporting to places you don't want him to be, but other than that, it's okay-ish. Pet! Yeah, there are pits here, which is why I stress, stay in one spot, preferably this rock right here. From this spot, you got a lot of leeway to hit Dracula in the face with your axes, and he also likes to spawn in one of these two spots right here to the left or right of me. If he feels like spawning in those two spots, it's up to random numbers generator, he'll spawn in 7 different spots in this room. Including the spot I'm on, which I have to jump quickly in order to not get killed. What did Dracula watch last night? What's so funny? Dracula has 2 attacks in this form, one of which is the Hellfire method, in which he shoots out 3 fireballs. Those 3 fireballs can be destroyed with your whip, but what you want to watch out for are the black hole meteorite looking attacks. You can't destroy those with your whip at all. And whenever you're about to take a hit, and trust me, you probably will get hit in this fight, you just have to duck in order to not move anywhere. Come on, Dracula, you can't kill me if you're on the other side of the room. There we go. I think the main issue with this boss fight, for me at least, is it's not the pit. I know it's not the pit for me, it's the scale of the room. It's way too damn big. So Dracula getting lost on the other side of the room is a pretty big deal in this game. I could have gone for the kill right there, but I'm on the last hit of Dracula's health bar and I don't feel like going through all that again. There is meat on the far end of the room, which could be beneficial or detrimental depending on how you go about it, and what Dracula feels like doing. You know, this type of final boss fight would have been better suited for Castlevania 4, where you can actually control your jumps, but in this game where Richter is restricted, you can't do anything but pray, basically. And here's the final form of Dracula. Whatever you do, do not fall into the pit. Your axes will make short work of this guy. You just have to have over 60 hearts. And with his attacks, just so long as you're ducking and not currently attacking, you should be fine. Hell yeah, I don't know why Dracula just teleported over there randomly, but that was Castlevania Dracula X on the Super Nintendo. Ooh. Trust me, the series does get better with Symphony of the Night. I absolutely adore that game. But until then, what is a man? Okay, I mentioned this before, but why couldn't have we gotten more cutscenes like this throughout the game? Like with the hostages and stuff? Oh, this is a wacky experience. I'll see you for the much better Symphony of the Night sooner or later.